What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of Buying JDM Cars Online. Today we're going to look at some Japanese rally legends. So, Subaru Imprezas, Mitsubishi Evos, and Toyota Celicas. Same format applies. We're going to look at cars at low value and high value, and we're going to look at different models within the ranges. So let's get going. We're going to start off with the Subaru family. And of course, we're going to go straight to the STIs. Low prices. Now let's pick a couple. We're going to take two buggers. So we'll take two of each. Okay, so two of each. Right, let's get this shit on the road. So, 97, WRX STI version 3. I've had two of these. Mine were not WRX STIs, they were just straight WRXs. One was a Type RA, and in South Africa we call them GT Turbos. I think that's UK as well. So, you can see the version 1 all the way up to version 5. They have these two little vent thingies in the front, also the grille here. Old headlights, not to my liking. This is actually a wagon. So I've never had a JDM GC8 wagon before. I've had a bug-out wagon. That was quite fun. This car looks really stock, pretty boring. That I hate. I hate those with a passion. I think they stopped doing it on the version 6. I can see these old models. This is the EJ20 motor. There's no coil packs. They've got these coil leads. So on the side, obviously, is your spark plugs. So two on this side, two on this side. And then you've got these leads coming into the top, and it sits on this little pack at the top of the motor behind the alternator. It's not very neat. Obviously easier to work on than having individual coil packs. There's the extra wires, and it sits on the top. Doesn't look so cool. So this is a 97 2-litre turbo. It's got that EJ20 motor, stock steering wheel. The car looks pretty much stock to me. Obviously, that's not stock. That's not stock. That looks like a turbo time over there. STI seats. Amplifier in the boot. Exhaust looks stock as fuck. R33. Okay, boring. Let's move on. Okay, here's the 98 version 4, $3,500. So with shipping to me, this is to Durban, South Africa. It's $4,600. Not bad. Car looks alright. Those are the JDM tail lights. Most models don't have that. Rear tinted windows. That's all factory. These are the factory 16-inch rims. You can see there's a bit of rash here on the back. Roof looks okay. Bit of rust around that. Again, coil leads. This is pre-version 6. Tires are okay. These are 16s. 205/50 16. STI seats. Stock wheel. I see the gate has been changed here. That's been changed. There's a boost gauge in the top. Different gear knob. 122,000. And nice, old school Apexy boost gauge. Very cool. Turbo timer. Right, this is also... Oh, nice. This is a V Limited. So this is a Type RA. I had one of these. Mine was a WRX Type RA, not the STI. Also version 4, and mine was also V Limited. Anyway, not a lot of photos. Very cool if you want to collect this item. Very high mileage, 200,000. For the most part, these motors should come out anyway, be rebuilt. You're looking at about $4,500, maybe $5,000, about 50 grand in my currency. If you want to rebuild fully forged bottom end, that's with Seco pistons, ARP head studs, bolts, rods, pretty much. Okay, let's go. Let's look at bug eyes. So 2001. Very nice. I didn't quite like the shape before. Only after owning one, I started enjoying them and liking it. So I bought a WRX wagon, 2002 model. It lasted a couple of weeks. Had to rebuild the motor, fully forged, ran a TDO 620G on it. Actually, I had a GT28 RS, the Disco Potato, on for a little while, stock mount location. I think it was an APS unit. That didn't last too long. I then changed for TDO 620G. It was a full stroker kit. I'll put a link in here to the car. We did the stroker kit, so we got it up to 2.2. I think what we did is we used the 2.5 crank and different pistons. I think we had Manly rods with Seco pistons or CP pistons. I don't quite remember. I've had 9 of these cars. It's all a big blur to me. So this one's quite nice. It's got the Alcantara seats, stock interior. Those are DEFI gauges. There's the DEFI control unit, stock steering wheel, STI pedal covers. It's actually really neat. This has got the 6-speed on it. Under the car looks pretty good. Brembos. Anyway, it looks quite cool. Let's close that. Move on. Here's another bugger. $5,500. It's actually really good money for what you're getting. These came out in 276 horsepower or 200 kilowatts, plus minus. EJ20. It came with the VF35 and the VF34 turbos. I think these Blabars have the VF34 turbo. Good for about 400 horsepower with a bit of tuning. Exhaust downpipe, fuel pump, bigger injectors, obviously a retune, higher boost. You're looking at about 400 horsepower on these. So this is quite neat. So on the Subaru side, these cars were legends on its own in the rally world. Having won 1995 with Colin McRae, that was done in the GC8. It was the 555 model. I think it was a commemorated version. Then 2001 with Richard Burns, and I think it was 2003 with Peter Solberg. And that was it. Shortly after that, Subaru pulled out of the rally stages. Coilovers, HKS coilovers, very nice. They actually look really neat. They look quite new. STI back box. If I was looking for one and I was going to import, I'd buy this car. Okay, let's look at Blabars. So this guy's got some decals in his car that'll come off straight away if you have to buy it. So mud flaps are not standard. The decals are not standard. This little exhaust guard is not standard. It's actually quite ugly. Very fucking ugly, to be honest. Look at the spacing between all the nuts. He's got the little JDM STI logo on the back. Those stickers are horrid. Oh my god, okay, he's fucked up the interior. So this has all been sprayed blue. All the surround there is blue. Something's up with the steering wheel. It looks like a cover. Yeah, first thing, cover would come off. All of this would go back to stock. I don't know so much about all the blue. So this is an 03 with DCCD. I may be wrong. Maybe someone can let me know in the comments. But as far as I knew, DCCD only came out in the 05 model. Unless they've changed the cluster pack. Alternator shield's been put on. Here's a hard pipe set up for the intake. Stock airbox is still on the car. He's definitely got a drop-in filter. Intake standard. Intercooler standard. He's got a grounding kit on the car here. Strut brace is not standard. There's that alternator shield. You can see something's been done here. Something's been done with the vacuum. That's your vacuum right off the manifold there. Don't know what it is. Zero Sports. I had one of these on mine. Let's go back to it. So this little radiator shroud. Very cool. Drops your intake temps by a few degrees. Sway bars. Don't know the brand. It looks like 26 or 28 mil. Very nice. There's a couple mods that would definitely come off in the car. Stickers off, that off, those off. Anyway, good price. You'll probably pick up something similar in your respective countries for around the same price. In South Africa, you're looking at about 120, 130 for the same thing. Okay, let's get rid of that. This one looks highly modded. He's got a wide body kit on the car, new front bumper. Don't know the branding of it. Actually, this is a 12-speed one, and I had one of these in my car. That's not standard. He's got Brembos, he's got different wheels on the car. That's the Pro Drive boot. That looks horrid. I'll change that very quickly. Actually, it's just, you can see it's too much. Hey, there's a little Asian man there. Interior looks neat. That's pretty shitty. I'd bring that out. Tweeters there. I'll take those tweeters out if it didn't cause any issues. Seats look okay, except for that. See, it's got DCCD as well. Someone let me know if the JDM models had DCCD. As far as I know, in South Africa, we had 0304 blah bars, non-DCCD. Oh, there's your center diff lock. Same position as the 05 STI, 06, 07, etc. So this is a V limited. They made 555. Okay, so this is stock. Engine bay looks relatively stock. It actually looks very, very neat. Strut brace, I'm not sure if this V limited model did come with us. Otherwise, everything else looks good. 126,000 Ks. Look, if you wanted a collector's item, this would probably be a good buy. Try put everything back to standard, or at least bumpers, body kits. Price is a little bit high for it though. Okay, Hawker. This one looks a bit wanked. It looks like it came off an auction as well. So 05, 06, 07 were the Hawkers. These had the EJ25 engines in it. These were the 2.5 turbos. They had the VF43 turbos in them. Same rated horsepower. The torque shot up dramatically. They are very cool cars. I like the Hawker. When I owned the Blobber, I didn't particularly like it with the new shape that came out. It's grown on me, and to be honest, I think it's one of the better shapes now. I still have a huge soft spot for the GC8 though. Okay, this is boring. Can't see much on this car, so I'm going to close that. $11,000 for this car, and it's been de-winged. He's got fog lights on it. Paint looks average. Wheels look like they need a bit of a shine. See the Brembos on here are black. This is definitely a JDM model. You can tell by the red button up here that everything else looks pretty much standard. Defi gauges. Okay, we didn't get this in South Africa, or at least not with us, with the 06, 07 models. So we had the Alcantara in the middle, blue with a black surround. I wouldn't buy this one. There's your electronic toll collection system. Stock back box. STI tip on it. There's the stock diffuser. Looks a bit rusty on the underside. It doesn't look too good, to be honest. You can see a bit of rusty on the one pulley. That's the air conditioner pump pulley on that side. A little bit rusty. Bit of water damage or rust that's starting to form on here. Strut brace as well. Although it does look pretty stock. I mean, okay, not for me. Anyway, that's Subaru. One day we'll chat about what I had and what I did to them. Today we're just looking at other people's cars. So let's move on. So let's start with some Evos. So guys, I'm not going to bother looking at high prices on these cars. After we're done with all of them, let's go look for some really nice limited models. So Toyota Celica will be the Carlos Sainz Limited Edition. On the Subaru side, let's go look for a ProDrive P1, or let's go look for a 22B. On the Evo side, I think a Rally Art. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is the Evo 5. I think this looks pretty shit. I would change that very quickly. You can see a bit of damage on there from the exhaust. Bonnet's been sprayed. Broad seat with a hell of a tear. That looks like masking tape. Jesus Christ. I think this car is thrown around the track quite a bit. I don't know what's going on here. There was obviously a gauge that was in place there. Stock steering wheel is out. This one's missing the centerpiece. Radio is missing. You see it's got that push release thing. The drifters use that on their handbrakes. Wow. Rust is forming there. This does not look like a good buy. And $4,000, that's a lot of money. So no electric windows, still got door handles. I suppose if you want to rally the car or track the car, this is probably the right one. Just fix a bit of the rust, rip everything else out. That's one hell of a straight pipe. This must be a rally car. They generally just put straight pipes like this or out the side so that it doesn't catch on the ground. Quite a bit of, yeah, lots of rust forming there. Rust on that side, rust on the bolts. 23540s, decent. Let's get rid of that guy. Okay, again, 98 is the Evo 5 as far as I know. They're much better. These are the stock seats. Pretty cool. Okay, here's the motor. So this motor is the 4G63 2-liter turbo. I think these earlier models had 5-speed boxes. The Evo 7, 8, 9, 10 have got 6 speeds. As far as I know, I think it came with a TDO 520G on these. The turbo sits somewhere in the front here. I think underneath is heat shield. Here's your intake, obviously. This guy's got a heat shield on there. He's done something with the vacuums. I'm guessing boost controller sits over here. I don't know too much about Evos. Here's your overflow tank for the water coming off the radiator. He's got a dump valve here. Looks like a teal dump valve, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, okay, so Evo 5. That's a bit of a better exhaust. Okay, something's up with the rear brakes, a bit rusty. Don't know what gauges those are. They look alright. Tweeters would come out. Power boost controller. So this is actually the boost controller. Yeah, okay. Fan switch. Okay, so this guy's got a fan controller he's doing from here. So he's not doing it via the ECU. $6,000, still a lot of money for this car. Let's look at the next one. Okay, this looks like an Evo 7 to me. Let's see what it says. Is it in 7? CT9A. I think this could potentially be an Evo 8. 7 and 8 look so similar to me. Wing looks horrid. Brembo's on there. Yeah. Anyway, it's a cool looking car from the inside, from the outside. The interior looks very bland if you look at it. I don't particularly like it. Let's move on. This looks like another Evo 8. Okay, so maybe the other one was the Evo 8. So the front end's a lot more refined than the other models. The back as well, the wing, much more different. You can see there's a lot more shape on the back bumper. Looks pretty cool. It's to be honest, it's not as aggressive as the others. The seats look a hell of a lot better than the previous model. Nice Recaros in there. That's missing. That's cheap to replace. Gear knob and the gator looks pretty good. Nice steering wheel. Factory intake. Turbo sits down here somewhere. I don't know if this hard pipe is factory. Okay, so this ACD, I think that's your active yaw control. Or active differential. So you can switch between tarmac, gravel, and snow on these guys. And that active yaw control, as far as I know, it pushes power from left to right, front to back, etc. So handling's really good on these guys. I've only ever driven an Evo 8. Lots of fun. Didn't get to thrash it around too much, but it did feel a lot more planted than pretty much all of my Subarus. Obviously not the ones that I had modified and had coilovers on them. But stock for stock, this did feel a lot more planted. Okay, here's Evo 6. Now to me the Evo 6 looks a lot more aggressive than all the others. The rear not so much. I prefer the rear on the 7 and the 8 and 9. But the front of the car looks very aggressive. Homo steering wheel stock, Defi controller, Defi gauges, stock gear knob, stock gator. Still got the spare wheel. Intake has been done. Turbo is right there somewhere. There's your manifold. Okay, it's got a strut brace. So 9,000. That's a lot of money. Although not a lot of these models came in South Africa, so it is rare to see one on the road and to own one. Okay, let's move on. Okay, next, let's not spend too much time on this. I owned a Toyota Celica in the past. That was a ST185 Carlos Sainz limited edition. From the Toyota Celica registry, we could see it was the only one in South Africa. Quite a fun car. 3S GTE motor, 2-litre turbo, 4-wheel drive, 4-wheel steering. She had a lot of things in common with the GTR, to be honest, in terms of drivetrain. Motor, obviously, displacement was only a 2-litre. Okay, these are very cheap. I'm not going to bother going right down at the bottom here because they are non-turbo. Here's a ST185 that's turbocharged. A lot of these new gens here. I'm actually not interested in those at all. I'm looking for ST185, ST205. Okay, so the reason why I'm not looking at these are non-turbocharged. They were 1800s. They were front-wheel drive. So boring. Okay, let's take this guy here. And that's it. That's now the highest price. Okay, let's start here. So ST185. You can see this is not a special edition. This is a normal one. It's got the standard vents. It's got the hood scoop on the top. The Carlos Sainz had a little hole on this side and then was covered with a charge cooler underneath. Very boring look. Twin exhaust. That's stock. Here's the fuel tank. Quite a large fuel tank. Okay, that's shit. Seats are stock. That's also pretty shit. That's not meant to be on the car. Okay, here's the intercooler at the top. There's a turbo. Quite a large turbo. I think it was the same turbo came with the Toyota Supra. I don't remember what size it is exactly. This looks very stock. It just looks really dirty. So obviously on the commemorative models, this was a charge cooler on the top here. This plate was a little bit different too, and most of them are a lot cleaner. Okay, this car is, look, it's cheap. If you want something to just throw around, this is probably a good price. I don't know what else needs to be done on it. ST205. So this one looks like it's had quite a bit of work done to it and looks like it's in horrid condition. Bonnet's not closing properly. Weird front bumper. That looks like an oil cooler. Definitely an oil cooler. Possible front mount in there too. Nice set of gauges. Apexi AVCR. Yeah, definitely front mount. So you can see now this is going down to the front. Here's a turbo sitting at the top, definitely a different turbo. Looks like a 100mm HKS mushroom that's on there. Hoses are done. Quite a bit of stuff is done on that. There's your dump valve. Those stock seats are pretty shit. He's got a nice bride seat in the car. It's actually pretty cool, but it's a lot of money for not knowing what could potentially be wrong with this car, plus the mods aren't very tasteful. Another ST205. Now this looks stock. This is what I like. The SS3. Nice interior stock wheel. This is the car that I would buy. Nicely done. Stock. Charge cooler on the top. The ST205s came with a charge cooler. The first ST185 was the Carlos Sainz that came out of the charge cooler. Don't know what that means. Blah, blah, blah. Nice car. Now this bonnet is similar to what was on the Carlos Sainz. Very nice. I'd buy this car. Okay, another ST205. I don't know what's so special about this one. Only 2 pictures. Anyway. Okay, guys. So obviously there's no Celicas that we can look at. So in closing, let's go and look and see if we can find any limited models of 22B or ProDrive P1 and anything on the Evo side, which means we're going to have to look at the most expensive, I'm assuming. So let's change that to high to low. Okay, here's some new gens, new age STIs. There's the hatches. It's a lot of money for that whole car. Those So on the Evo side, sorry, I said Rally Art earlier. It'll probably be your FQ300, FQ400. I think there's a 380 in there as well. Not an Evo guy. Here's an 01. I think this is the Evo 7. So that looks pretty smart. Some rust on there. That's easy to pull off. Just unbolt here off the manifold. That's just bolted onto the top of the manifold. Just do a rust reform cleanup. This is easy to take off and clean. One of the first things I would have done before selling the car. Stock steering wheel. Gauges are not stock. See, there's some sort of controller on here, possibly Apexy. That's got the 6-speed on it. Turbo timer and something else there. 38,000 Ks. This car is neat. Those are defies. There's probably a defi controller at the bottom. This is some sort of blitz controller. I'm guessing boost. Oh, this is very nice. Yeah, very cool. Okay, next, GSR 9. I guess this is an Evo 9. You can see how different the front end is. Just a lot more refined. Very nice. Okay, there's only 3 pictures. Boring. Okay, goodbye Evos. Okay, we're stuck with this 2000 model. You can see the difference, like I said earlier. This doesn't have those 2 little fins. This has only got the 1. The bumper's shape is a little bit more different. These covers are different. On the older models, there's 4 bolts over here, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. This has just got the 1, and then there's clips on the other side. Those wheels look like they've been changed. Okay, it's still a 4-door. So this is a STI version 6 with some weird fucking rear spoiler. Never seen that before. Okay, so this is a WRX Type RA, WRX STI Type RA. There's a little vent on the top. I don't know what this is, but these seats, they look like the Richard Burns seats, but the Richard Burns was not a 2000 model. That I would change. Anyway, this is cool if you want to collect this item. Anyway, guys, just a little bit of a banter and some shit talk. Looking at these models. So these 3 are your rally legends, JDM rally legends. I'm going to be working on my car again in the next couple of days. We're just going to be finishing off the battery relocation. So I've got to move the battery to the boot now. The wiring is ready and in place. And then just do the engine bay cleanup and mount the grounds. And we sorted. Then I'll do some before and after pictures. You guys can take a look. And then obviously the silicone hose is the next step. From there, we're going to get the ball rolling with clutch and everything else. So guys, thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate all the subscribers lately. Guys, thanks a lot. Keep up.